One. What's up, guys? Studfit here. We have another episode of the Rundown. This time, the Peach versus Bowser Tour, Part 2. What's going on, Antolev? Welcome back, man. How are you doing?
I am doing great, man. Great tour, and catching my breath a little bit. Tour after you go for an ACR run.
How'd you do?
8th. So not too bad. I didn't really have the time that I would normally like to invest for like a proper ACR run, but I managed to do okay, and the competition wasn't as stiff as I thought it was going to be. So I came out successful in the end anyway. So it's always nice after you do whatever level you're at. If you do a serious ACR run, the next tour kind of feels like a vacation tour. You don't have to give 100% on every track. You can kind of just chill and enjoy the scenery, just race with pleasure without the pressure of having to get scores. So I'm doing that right now, and the current tour seems like a great tour. Two great new tracks.
Yeah, congratulations on top 10 again. It seems like you make it look so easy. What is it? 90%, 97%, 97.4% in 80 hours?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Absolutely incredible, man. That's a huge accomplishment. I don't know how you do it. I will say top 100 this tour will be a little bit more interesting as we've heard the news. I'm sure it'll be a hot topic on Kart Talk, but heard the news about the glitch. Not sure if I don't want to address it too much. My personal opinion is that it's a personal decision people are going to have to make. I know myself, I'm not going to be using the glitch or doing the glitch, and that's a personal decision. But I think I'm not going to judge anyone if it's Nintendo's mistake, and they've made the mistake. If someone wants to take advantage of it, I think it's up to them. I just know that it's not something I'm doing. I know it will make a huge impact on All Cup ranking. Thankfully, there's no battle course in ranked, and who knows? Maybe people just have fun for a little bit. But I will say, I expect it to be fixed relatively pretty quickly. It's a major glitch, and it really compromises the game as a whole. Anything else you want to add?
No, I think that's exactly the right attitude. This is part of the game. It's part of the functionality. Nobody's hacking or doing anything which isn't allowed. It is. People have found a way to min-max the game in a way that probably wasn't intended to by the devs. And now Nintendo is aware of the situation. They will probably address it sooner rather than later. My main concern would be, if they would consider this to be unethical and tell people don't do this. Otherwise, you might, face some kind of disciplinary action. But the thing is that the amount of attention it's getting and the amount it's kind of breaking the game at the moment. I think Nintendo will be forced to act, and at least even if they say this is intended behavior or this is okay, then we know, and then it's part of it. And that's just like, it's like boomboxing. It's like using a hard reset to save item tickets. It's like any of the kind of min-maxing strategies we use in the game to maximize our scores. And if that's the case, then that's fine. Then I'll happily use it. I'm kind of taking the same tactic as you right now. I'm not going to use it. There's actually no point in using it unless you are going hard for ACR. And honestly, going for top 1,000 probably doesn't make that much difference. Going for top 100, yeah, it might make a difference. Going for top 10, you more or less will need to do it because everybody else is doing it, but it's such a small percentage of the player base. Anyways, it doesn't really impact that many people. So I'm like you. I'm kind of amused how much of a storm in a teacup this is sort of turning out to be, and I'm just kind of munching my popcorn and watching the bullets fly or whatever you want to call it. It's this will all be over within a couple of days. Nintendo will address it. They'll do something. They'll probably remove battle mode or multiplayer entirely. Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, I hope so. It's obviously a big. Anytime you have someone getting 100,000 points, whatever. The thing is, if someone wants to use that to their advantage and finally go for a top 100 run, fine. You still have 41 tracks to grind, so it's not going to be a walk in the park by any means. It doesn't. But it is a major glaring thing that Nintendo will have to fix. They will have. Like the thing where Tanuki, you go through, the mansion or whatever it is by, jumping off of the the Monty guy. Like again, like that's it's kind of a glitch, but it's not a glitch that gives you 900 actions. So honestly, it's something that they're gonna have to fix. And if they say this is how it is, then I honestly, my personal opinion, this is a great time, Nintendo, for take these tracks out of the All Cup ranking. Just make it a multiplayer function.
That's what I want. That's what I want, because I tell you something, I spent so many hours last tour. Out of those 80 hours I spent grinding, I probably spent at least 20 on the 4 battle tracks, and I only got a score that I was happy with on one of them. The other ones I didn't get a good score, because it is such an incredible lottery sequence that you need to get a decent action count and also finish it within the 90-second well fall bonus time. It's so difficult, and it requires way more than grinding a regular track where you're just going for coin frenzies, coin box frenzies, lucky 7 frenzies, whatever. And I can through practice, the amount of time spent on those tracks without getting a decent run, it's horrible. And I think they should have never been in single player or used as a way to maximize scoring. It doesn't make sense. So I hope, what I really hope is that they take this and take it as a reason to get battle mode and keep it multiplayer only, and not have anything to do with ranked or ACR or scoring or anything. Because it's really fun to play when you're just trying to go and smash other people.
Play battle mode. We'll have a lot of fun with battle mode.
I love battle mode. I love battle mode. I just don't want to use it for scoring.
100%. Also, if you can turn up your mic, I'd love to hear you a little bit louder. While we're doing that, the members, sorry guys, I didn't have enough time to update this, but huge shout out to our members. As always, Larry98 is a huge part of the rundown and gathering this data, as well as also Sam78IT. He and I have collaborated a little bit. We'd love to do some more. Excited about that piece. But we did have our Member Multiplayer Monday contest finish up on Monday. Shout out to Draco655. Congratulations on winning in the month of November. We also had Bobcat get our action count. He's our action count king so far right now, based on a 210 action count run on DK Mountain RT. So shout out to Bobcat. We have a lot of fun on our servers. If you haven't found a community yet, we have a blast, an absolute great time going through the game and finding ways to enjoy even week 2 of the game when it seems like it's kind of stagnant and lagging. Again, sorry I wasn't able to update that, but it's been a long day at work here. Doing some quota stuff, end of year stuff, and so I appreciate everyone's patience. Angela, let's talk about the new items here. I'm starting with Rocky Wrench, Me Racing Suit. Talk to me a little bit about his starting coverage and his top skill overlap.
All 7 tracks have coin box on them. That's all you need to know.
All right, on to the next driver, which is a super. I'm sure it'll be quite as quick. Go ahead.
All 5 of his tracks also have coin box on them. So.
All right, let's go ahead and talk about the cart. No, I'm just joking. Anything you want to add to that?
No, honestly, I mean, it's a new me without a plus skill. And a new super without a plus skill, and not having any kind of tracks where it's even remotely interested. Look, I'll be honest, last tour, I used Orange Yoshi on Riverside Park, I think T, even though there's, P Piranha Gold or whatever, just the way that my inventory was, it made more sense for me to use a level 8, quad capped super on that track. And then that was fine, but I mean, that's talking about the starting coverage. So for supers, if you can use them for one track, it doesn't matter what their starting coverage is, or if they have strong tracks or whatever, you're just going to use them. You'll level up for one track, and then that's it. So it's it's not really kind of pointless to talk about the starting tracks.
Yeah, maybe you started later this year and you're kind of new to the game, maybe 9 months in or so, and somehow you missed out on the Charging Chuck pipe spree event that we had. Hey, maybe this guy works out for you for Bowser's Castle 3R. Or maybe you don't have tie-dye dress or gold PD at a high level, and you want to use them for Riverside Park. And if so, kudos to you, go for it. But outside of that, there's the other tracks are just have so many top shelves. I mean, these are some of the most loaded tracks in the game. We're talking about Bowser's Castle and Airship Fortress RT. So no need to even think about them on those tracks for sure. Let's talk about karts. We've got the Pink Speeder, kind of taking a look at its overlap here starting out. Obviously, you're having to use rubies to get it. Obviously, a Jump Boost Plus looks cool in pink. What's your thoughts on this coverage?
So we have 4 new carts this tour. Looking at their non-city coverage, they all start with 9 tracks at level 8. So that's average. So it's really going to come down to what tracks did they get? Did they get new tracks? Did they get Beach Gardens? Did they get newish tracks that have come out recently? So we're talking about Bowser's Castle 3, we're talking about Riverside Park, we're talking about DK Mountain, and did they get a lower amount of the older tracks that we saw in this tour, returning Royal Raceway, Bowser City, Airship Fortress, Mario Circuit from 3DS. So basically, the more newer tracks they get, the more value they have. Pink Speeder splits it kind of right down the middle. Starts with 11 tracks. There's 11 tracks, right? It's missing the 2 the Amsterdam tracks on this.
We're only
showing the non-cities. Yeah, exactly. So starting with 9 non-cities, 4 of them are older tracks. It's got 3 variants of Royal Raceway and 1 of Mario Circuit. That's the RT. It starts with 3 Peach Gardens, so that's really nice. Both of the ranked ones, and RT, and then it's also got R, and it's got 2 Riverside Parks, normal and RT. So it's a pretty decent start.
Good. What do you think about the other pink item, the commemorative item, the pink sneaker cards?
The pink sneaker, I think has a little bit of a stronger start. Also 9 non-cities, but only 3 older tracks: 2 Royal Raceways and Mario Circuit RT. And then it's got 2 Beach Gardens, RT and T, so one's in ranked. It's got 3 Riverside Parks, which is very strong, NR and RT, and it's got a DK Mountain. So 6 of its 9 starting non-cities are either from the current tour or from the previous tour. So those are really strong starts. Just looking at the starting tracks, I think this is the strongest, not talking about hitbox or anything else, but just the coverage. This is the strongest start of any of the 4 new cards.
I like it, man. I certainly love the pink color. It's kind of got cotton candy style. I definitely got a 3.
It's kind of like 80s Miami style going on.
It does, man.
I like it. Yeah, it looks like some GTA Vice City.
It does. I think it looks cool. I think it's one of my favorite looking carts. Now, here's the thing: is every tour seems like we're getting so many carts, including gold carts. Every tour we're getting a gold cart, in addition to what seems like at least 2 or 3 carts based on commemorative items or whatnot. What's your thoughts on the gold bruiser?
Yeah, so the Gold Bruiser, a little bit less of an impressive start. It's got 4 older tracks out of its 9 non-cities, 2 Airship Fortresses, TNRT. It's got Mario Circuit N and Bowser City T, and then the rest has got newer tracks. The 3DS Bowser's Castle I kind of put in the middle. It's not ancient, but those tracks are almost a year old now. So they're kind of fading into the older tracks. They're not like super new, and they're not super paywalled. So it's got 2 of the 3DS Bowser's Castles NT, and then it's 3 newer tracks. It's got Peach Gardens RT, Bowser's Castle 3, and Bowser's Castle 3R. But I would say, not like the super strongest start of the cards. I think the pink cards are better.
Fair enough. I think I agree with you there. I think these gold pass, it was kind of cool at first, but now it's starting to become a little too much. I'm not sure why they're doing it, giving us a gold pass card every tour. I do see us. My belief is that we will get a gold version of every cart family in the game.
It seems like it, and I want them to be good, but they just don't. Like the Gold Trickster came out, and it was so cool, and it had a pretty good start, and it's just kind of disappeared, unfortunately.
Yeah, I remember in Pokemon Go, they started giving a couple shinies, and it was super hyped, and now everything just had a shiny, kind of loose. It ended up diluting the specialness of it. I think the same thing's happening with these carts, where that special it's a gold cart. And I know at first, again, I'm saying at first, 2 years ago, it was actually really cool. Now it's played out and it's not really too exciting. Let's talk about the last remaining item, which is the black sneaker. the item that is a reward for ranked. Tell us a little bit about the Black Sneakers starting coverage.
Yeah, and this is probably the weakest of the 4. So out of its 9 non-city tracks, 5 are older tracks. 2 Airship Fortresses, 2 Neo Bowser Cities, and Mario Circuit are. And out of its 4 newish tracks, 2 of them are Bowser's Castle 3 variants. So that's pretty new, just from I think September. And then the other 2 are Bowser's Castle. 3DS Bowser's Castle variants. One is the N version from New Year's Tour last year. It's almost a year old. The other one is RT, and that was introduced in Samurai Tour. So it's still a 2022 track, but both not super new. So I'd say out of those 9 tracks, only 2 would, considered to be newer, heavily paywall tracks. The Bowser's Castle variant, I think this one is the weakest one. So if I was going to rank these in terms of strongest to weakest start, I'd go Pink Sneaker, Pink Speeder, Gold Bruiser, and Black Sneaker last.
Wow, dead last. Wow, that's interesting that they're doing that with a ranked award. Let's talk about the only new glider in the game this tour, which would be the wonderful Garnet. Now, I'm a January baby. I'm a Capricorn, so the Garnet has a little bit of interest to me as that's my birthstone in January. Now, obviously, I'm pretty invested in the Wicked Wings. That was what I really liked. Not sure how I feel about the wonderful Garnet. What do you think, man? Should I get it?
It looks great, and it looks like it'll match really well with the Cupid's Arrow, and Cupid's Arrow has been good, and Wicked Topaz is good, and it kind of fits with that theme. So if I had to predict it based on its aesthetics, I would say this is going to be a good glider. If I have to judge it based on its start, I would say not so much. Starting with 8 non-cities, half of those are older tracks, Mario Circuit R, and 3 Royal Raceway variants. But it does have 2 Peach Gardens, it's got Riverside Park T, and it's got Bowser's Castle 3. So I would say this is a medium start. We talked about this before. When there's only one item, one driver, or one kart, or one glider that comes out in a tour, we can see it, have a certain niche value because nothing is lining up exactly with its kind of buffing arc.
Yep.
Based on its start, I think it's kind of weak, but based on what it looks like and the other kind of associated items with this aesthetic that are generally seem like quality items, I would say my prediction is that it's going to be a good item, but I can't say that with any kind of data backing it. It's just a feeling I have.
Yeah, it makes me wonder, the Wicked Topaz, it obviously kind of took the Wicked Wings mixed with a Birthstone, and here we are, the Wonderful Wings mixed with a Birthstone. Makes me wonder if they'll continue kind of taking different, maybe a Great Sale version of, February's Birthstone, and they do this for all the months. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, I think that when they kind of make the themes that are interesting, make us kind of think on our toes. But I'm with you there. I might get it. After all, it'll depend if I need my rubies for tickets, which I had my shop was wide open last tour, so I saved it all. I feel pretty good going into this tour. Let's talk about the Daily Spotlight shop. I put this out in a separate video on Wednesday just so that people would have it very early on. I will say I did make 2 changes, which I will do here live, which was I just moved so again, maybe I'll reiterate what all these S logos look like. And again, this is where I collaborated with 78IT, Sam78IT, where essentially anytime you see a red ruby S logo on here, I selected 10 drivers, 10 karts, and 10 gliders that I think might make sense for someone to do research on their account for a couple of different things. One, it could be a top 10 item where it's peaking right now, or it kind of doing some moving and shaking, and it's really early in its career to where a newer player might find some value and be able to ride out at that peak. Or maybe it's been a really powerful meta level item that's still pretty strong for you. So that's kind of how I decided which 10 to give it to. Again, limiting myself to 10 was a lot harder than I thought it would be, but I did find myself using or selecting a lot more boomerang drivers. I think when it comes to drivers, these are the most debated because it's really depending on your preference. If you don't like boomboxing, just go with coin boxes. You don't even need to look at this list. I mean, what do you look at my list for? You know what you like. So I don't think you need any help from me. As for karts, though, Karts specifically are probably the hardest because there's so many karts, there's so many options, and really you should be leaning on the spreadsheets for all of this, but especially for karts. That will really help you out. I know last tour I was not, I mean, the Tanuki card, investing in it wasn't even on my radar. I invested in it, and I was blown away how many tracks it gives me. So that's just one example where, you know, taking something up to a high enough level, you know, really until you look at the spreadsheets, you're not going to know. As for each of these carts, you know, a lot of these are you know, top 10 items, but also items that I think would go really well. I'd say something like the Silver King is not in the top 10 right now, but it would pair really well with what you have. I promise you, if you get it, it's one of those things kind of like the Black Raid sale where it's just like, it's always going to do well for you, even if it's not in the 10 right now. So there you go. And Tulev, based on, you know, go ahead and check out that video if you want to hear more details on some of these. But Tulev, anything you disagree with on any of what you saw?
No, not really. I mean, you have items like Silver King, like Blue Shy Guy Ninja. They are not high in the rankings, but that's just because they don't have a lot of newer tracks and they're not a lot in ranked. But I mean, from an ACR perspective, we're just getting like full coverage. They have amazing value just because they have so many tracks, you know. So in that sense, yeah, it's not high in the rankings, but that, you know, to be high in the rankings, you need a lot of tracks, good quality tracks, and like, you know, have some ranked relevance as well. So it's, you know, especially with carts, you've got like 260 carts in the game right now. That's great. It's insane. I would maybe say I'd like to see the blue green capsule cart, the coral jet cruiser, to be studs, because I think those are both like very, very good items. But I also, looking through the rest of them, I don't know what I would kick out, actually, you know, like, because there's a lot of good carts. The Dream Glider is maybe one I would add in there. Not that it's been, you know, super meta lately, but it got 2 really amazing buffs this tour. So for people who, you know, don't have it and need something to cover ranked, it got 2 ranked buffs. And then maybe the Sakura Origami Glider, but you know, for the rest, the Glitter Parasol is also good. Yeah, I mean, but yeah, there's a lot of good gliders as well. So it's I think it's a pretty good list. If you're not into Boombox, you can just swap that Ninja Shy Guy for Kamek, and you can swap that Luigi Knight for you know, Peach Vacation or Mario Tuxedo, whatever. It's all good.
Yeah, you know, I honestly think a lot of people are gonna go with coin boxers, but I'm thinking to myself, like, if I, you know, my son has a new account, it's like level tier 36, so a new is like a 6-month, 5-month, 4-month account, whatever it is. You know, Tuxedo Mario's not gonna do much for him. You know, Kamek's not gonna even do very much for him. You know, so for me, it's like I'm trying to help him out and trying to like give some suggestions. And honestly, each one of these drivers would do really well for him. And for me, like a fringe that I was thinking about would be like DK Junior SNES versus, you know, Gold Bob-omb Gold. Wait, King Bob-omb Gold. So like, that's an example. You know, I think King Bob-omb Gold might help him on more accounts than DK Junior, but yeah, I don't know. To me, like, that would be my preference for an account like that. And so I'm kind of thinking in his eyes and thinking through the free-to-play account that you have as you've been leading us over these last 6 months. So I appreciate that. Let's get into the buffs. Drivers with 3 buffs. And by the way, you'll notice on here, I don't have any Miis on here. Miis are, in a lot of cases, especially this tour, could be all you use your rubies for. There's so many great Miis on discount. Coming back for the first time, I know Sammy got 4 Miis, each at 70 rubies, which is a steal compared to some of these drivers at 150 rubies. So take into consideration at Miis. Don't take all of this and just say, oh, you know, Studfit said I should do this. No, I mean, definitely evaluate those Miis. Definitely evaluate what makes sense for your account. But just, again, I can't speak highly enough about the Miis. We've had so many people in our servers and stuff today. I've been ignoring the Miis. I've been ignoring Miis. I'm in. Let's go. So just put that out there for your reference as well. Talking about buffs, this is a very unique tour about buffs. Anything, Antelope, let's let you start. Tell us what's unique about the buffs, because this isn't as high a buffs. In fact, we don't have any items that got buffed 4 times or 5 times. The buffs are really spread around.
It's not like a crazy buff fest like we had with the last tour or other tours where we have 2 retros. introduced at the same time. So there's 226 buffs total this tour, but 78 of them are city buffs in the new Amsterdam Drift 3 track. So we've got 148 retro buffs. So that's a little bit. That's kind of less than some of the record-breaking tours where we've had 200 plus buffs. But yeah, there's no single items that got just an absolute load of buffs. Like I said, I don't think there's a single item that got 4 buffs, and we usually see some of the newer items getting a lot of buffs, whether city or not. So those are pretty spread around, and there's nobody that got like really insane value except for a couple of exceptions. But yeah, we can jump into it.
Yeah, let's do. Go ahead.
So before we even start that, this is something I'm doing every tour now. The top 5 most valuable buffs in the tour.
Love it.
Yes. So the top 5 most valuable buffs is actually a top 4 because there's like an 8-way tie for 5th. Mario King is the most valuable buff on Peach Gardens T. It's a new exclusive. It's not unranked, but it's a new Coinbox exclusive for him, and he's a newer driver. And the second most, which is almost as worth as Mario King's buff, is Ty Daisy on Peach Gardens R, also an exclusive, not unranked. And then the third is Meowser on Peach Gardens RT, which isn't ranked, but it's an RT, so it's worth like a little bit less, just because RTs are kind of, we're seeing a little bit less RT than the normal ones because it's kind of, these 3 are all more or less equal value, around triple the value of an older track with an older non-plus skill driver. And the fourth is a surprising one, Yoshi Me Racing suit with Peach Gardens N. Yeah, it's a non-Coinbox track, so he gets a bonus for being top shelf on that, and he gets a me bonus. We increased the me bonus this tour as well. We'll get to that later. And then there's 8 gliders with the buff on Peach Gardens N that have the same value, somewhere around 2.5 times the value of a normal track. It's a very paywall track. There's not many gliders, and it's brand new. And we have some newer gliders that got the buff. So those are the best buff this tour. But as you see, it's mostly drivers with the Coinbox or Plus Skill exclusives, some in ranked, but brand new tracks of the most value.
Yeah, and then also, in addition to everything you just said, some of the buffs are city buffs. It's just one of the unique tours where we have a city course mixed in with the tour itself, which absolutely I love. I think this is a brilliant way for us to introduce cities. I'd love for that to be the case every single tour, in which case we can finally shred the distinction between city versus non-city. I'd love to do that, to be honest with you, but we haven't seen it over time. We haven't seen established data
would be nice if they would do it a little bit how they're doing battle tracks right now, where you just have 4 tracks every tour which are set aside for battle tracks, and 4 tracks every tour which are set aside for city tracks. Would be nice.
I mean, why wouldn't they? In fact, if you Nintendo, if you want to get rid of the battle tracks entirely and just replace them with city tracks, we're good for that too. There are 3 drivers with 3 buffs. That would be Peach Wedding, White Me Racing Suit, and Luigi Chef. I would say each one of those come with a city. Some of these buffs better than others. The Peach Gardens, I think anytime that a item is getting a Peach Gardens buff, that's the buff you're really, really looking for. So Peach Wedding does get those 2 nice Peach buffs there, versus like this White Me Racing Suit getting these 2 Mario circuits. Not so great. Same thing with the Bowser's Castle for Luigi Chef.
Yeah. I didn't even make a note about what me racing because it's got 2 old retros and a city, so basically not that interesting buffs.
Yeah, and we also do have 7 of the top 15 drivers getting 2 buffs, including, as we just alluded to, Daisy Tie Dress gets this absolutely beautiful Peach Gardens R track to put her at number 2 on our list. We also have Charging Chuck Gold getting Bowser's Castle T. Now, Bowser's Castle T has had already a lot of other drivers on his top shelf. It's not a huge win for him necessarily. Now, PD Piranha, he gets a nice set here. He's got Peach Gardens and Peach Gardens RT. You gotta love that. Absolutely love that. And then Luigi Knight, he gets Bowser's Castle R. Not a great track. And then Neo Bowser City RT. Not a great track either. And even PD Piranha Gold. Not the best buffs. You like the Bowser's Castle 3T. But
yeah, that's an exclusive for him, so that's a really good buff. But
yeah.
the other one is kind of...
I agree. And I think from that perspective, it's not necessarily the best Coinbox track, which for whatever reason seems to be kind of his trend. Last tour that I don't get it, man. That all of his tracks seem like very rampy, and it's really difficult to try to get all those coins. But it is a good track. It is exclusive. You like that one buff. The other buff is absolute garbage. Pink Shy Guy Ninja has the Peach Gardens, beautiful track. Peach Gardens T, wonderful for him too. So he's number 12 on our list. And then PD Piranha Me Racing Suit, one of the higher non-Coinbox Me suits in our list. It has Peach Gardens R, Peach Gardens RT, one that I took the 7 double uncapped, which is like an ungodly 1700 base points. I'm not a huge Boomboxer fan just because I don't get to Boombox very often, but it has been really nice being able to use him with these crazy base points. Like, I'm literally just getting a Boomerang Frenzy, and I'm looking at my points afterwards. I'm like, did I get a Boombox and I just didn't know it because of the base points? The base points are absolutely massive. We already talked about King Mario. Volendam obviously gets these 2 Amsterdam tracks. That's probably where I'll cut off the conversation. Anything you want to add here about the drivers with 3 and 2 buffs?
Sure. So the PD Piranha is the only driver to get both of the ranked Peach Guard. So for just in terms of adding pure value, he probably got the biggest boost because he got 2, brand new retros, and they're both in ranked. So that's like really good from him. Pink Shy Guy, 2 new Peach Gardens, 1 ranked, 1 not ranked. So that's nice to see from him because he's kind of getting up there in age. So like it's good to see him getting new buffs. He was always a phenomenal ranked driver, but he didn't have like a massive amount of coverage. To see him up in the low 20s is really good. Mario King, and I know like we need to talk about Mario King, and Mario King is actually starting to overcome kind of his bad start and start to become relevant. He got 2 buffs. They seem to be doing this a lot with him, where they gave him 1 terrible buff and 1 really good buff. So you got Mario Circuit N, which is just like basically useless, and then they got Peach Gardens T, which is extremely good because it's a new exclusive for him. He's up to 6 exclusive Coinbox tracks, which is
okay.
It's not the greatest, but it's a lot. But it seems like they like to give exclusives, so that's really good. He's not in ranked, which is unfortunate, but maybe they will start to put him in ranked soon. For you Mario King fans, hopefully that's the case. We've already talked about Gold Pete. He got an exclusive and 1 good, 1 bad, kind of similar to Mario King. Luigi and I got 2 buffs, but they're both kind of underwhelming, like Bowser's Castle R and Neo Bowser City RT. And the PD Piranha Me Racing Suit, this is a driver, a me suit that I took up to level 8 triple gap last tour for ACR. I was kind of apprehensive about it because it didn't have like a lot of tracks, but it's I think now up to 14 retros, which is not fantastic, but it's alright for a me suit. And then the base points, and then I love bootboxing. I like it more or less as much as driving with Coinbox, as crazy as that sounds. So I'm really happy to be able to use them in ranked week 2, and the base points, like you said, I think it's on like 1,770 base points. It's amazing.
One thing I'm finding now, as you using Boombox versus a year ago, or even based on using it 6 months ago, is we have so many Coinbox drivers in the game now. Let alone so much
easier to get bots.
We have a lot more Coinboxers on the second shelf even too. So I'm finding almost every lobby. It seems like I'm getting a Coinbox driver. I know there's some tracks that are harder than others. 100% I agree, but I don't know, it seems less exhausting, and then you have the reset button, you got a lot of these other quality of life.
You have a good lobby, you can finish a race and then just hit the try again button, and you don't have to like stress out about like, if it's good enough, is it not good enough, am I gonna lose my lobby?
And to be honest with you, I could reset. There's times where I'm just like, that was an okay run, I'm sure I'll get some Coinboxes on my next lobby. I'm okay with trying the next lobby and maybe get maybe 1 or 2 less badges. I don't know. I'm just saying, boomboxing has changed quite a lot in the last 6 months, even especially for a year. But it is interesting.
Moving on from that, I was gonna say like there's a couple of other drivers who got 2 buffs, which were but not 2 retro buffs. You got Luigi Painter he's old enough now that anything is a bonus, so he got 2 cities, but you don't really, it's not like taking the space for anything else. Same with Rosalina Volendam, she's almost seen everything. Ty Daisy, again, like I said before, one of the most valuable of the tour. She jumped to number 2 because of that. She also got an Amsterdam Drift Track, which is not that useful, but that's okay. And the gold chuck buff is an interesting one because it's not like super mega valuable for him per se, but to be point buck exclude from Meowser, so he takes that away from Meowser, so that actually relative, because he is like right up there with Meowser in the rankings, that seems to steal a little bit of value of Meowser. And then finally, the yellow Me racing suit. I know some people are curious about it because it's got the giant banana, good skill. Pretty disappointing. Royal Raceway RT, you've already got Pit Crew Toad there as a giant banana driver. I know it's a super, but still. And that suit does get the rank track, but it's a city ranked in Amsterdam Drift 3 RT.
There you go. If you're curious about Mies and Giant Banana, there you go. So shout out to the Banana Republic. Drivers with, and also Mies. Drivers with 1 buff. Top of the list is Meowser getting Peach Gardens RT. What an awesome track for him to get. 29 assumed tracks, 4 cities there. White Tanuki Mario got the Amsterdam Drift 3 RT. Yoshi Kangaroo, big winner here with Peach Gardens RT. He seems to get a rank track every single tour for, I think like at least the last 2 tours. He's had quite the comeback this year. I'll be honest with you. I'd be curious to see if he wins the comeback of the year in our upcoming annual contest or award ceremony that I'm sure we'll be doing around New Year's. We'll get some questions out to you guys here in the next couple weeks. Probably between Christmas and New Year's for those who celebrate Christmas. At least those like 7 days at the end of the year. Because, I mean, we'll get a couple tours, at least one more tour in before the end of the year. Dr. Peach, she did get Peach Gardens RT, so you like that. She's got a large number of tracks. Of course, she doesn't have a top skill, which holds her back a little bit, but top 15 driver still nonetheless. Rosalina Chef, number 17 on our list, 19 assumed tracks. But her track is Royal Raceway, which you have plenty of options on already. Been around for a long time. That's probably where I'll draw the line. I'm kind of looking around. Tuxedo gets a little buff here. Yeah, nothing else really stands out. Peach Vacation, a lot of people are using on Amsterdam Drift. In addition to some other old meta items. It's been fun using her again. Antolov, what's your thoughts on the drivers with 1 buff?
I think those first 5 drivers you mentioned are the ones I had written down in my notes. The Meowser buff is an exclusive for him, so he got a new rank track, which is also Coinbox exclusive. That's the reason he jumps back up to number 1. He's just having an amazing year. He did lose that exclusive track, that Bowser's Castle T, to Gold Chuck, but he makes up for it here. White Tanuki Mario, he only got the 1 city buff, but he is the only plus skill driver for that rank track. So if he was already kind of on your list to upgrade, he's good for my account. He will help you win week 2, because if you have him, you've got a big advantage over anyone else in your rank who doesn't have him leveled up, because the other options for that track are just awful.
They're terrible.
Finally, once again, I think this is the 3rd or 4th 2 in a row. No buffs for gold, silver, bronze Mii suits. No mid-shelf buffs either. I know Gold Mii has quite some representation in all cup ranking this tour, so that's like nice for him. But it's kind of worrying that these Mii suits have basically been completely ignored by Nintendo for the past couple of months. It seems like it's just for whoever hasn't invested in them yet. It's not really, they don't really seem to be getting the love.
That's fair, at least for the gold and bronze. They peaked pretty quickly. I do think that the gold will continue seeing a completely different buff cycle than any other item in the game. And I'll keep saying that till I'm blue in the face. Karts with 3 buffs. We have 5 total, including your Moo Off-Roader getting Mario Circuit RT, Peach Gardens R, and Peach Gardens RT. Obviously, those last 2 absolutely huge wins for the Moo Off-Roader. Streetle getting a unique blend here of just Peach Gardens regular, Peach Gardens reverse, and T version. Goo Pink getting a similar variation with Royal Raceway replacing the T. And then Blue Speedster, total womp there. 2 city tracks and a Neo Bowser city are not great for him. And And then the Taylor Swift getting the Royal Raceway RT and 2 city tracks. Huge loss there for the Taylor Swift. Man, that's tough.
Especially considering I had an all-city start to get loaded up.
All-city start to begin with.
Really unfortunate. Really unfortunate.
Man, I had a lot of people excited about those Talons, but
they look really cool, and I love how wide they are. But I just, I need to see more. The Streetle has probably the strongest set of buffs. It's just random and weird and crazy. These 3 peach cards. Unfortunately, only one of them is ranked. They didn't get the I think RT, which is the second week ranked, but it's still good. And then the Moo Off-Roader. A lot of people are going in early on this one, me included. Like I don't, obviously I don't like to invest in new items right away until I kind of see where they're going. But the start is promising and had a good starting set of tracks, and then 3 very strong buffs. I mean, the Mario Circuit RT is obviously not that strong, but then 2 Peach Gardens, one of them is ranked. That's about as much as you can ask for, considering it had a very strong starting set. If it would get 2 more rounds of buffs like that, it would be edging up on the top 10. And then a Google Pink. For me, it's a multiplayer cart with the hitbox and everything, but nice to see it getting a couple of Peach Gardens, and then the Royal Raceway and is that's a coin box track, I would say, so you probably want a bigger cart there.
Yeah, I know. Honestly, I think if anyone can go, if they have to for ranked or for whatever reason, go early on any cart in the game right now. I mean, it's hard to dispute the Moo Off-Roader. It already has the biggest hitbox in the game. It's getting seems like every good buff. I just don't like when we were coming out of that tour, we were looking at all these Eagle carts, these Talon carts, and the Moo Off-Roader, and the Gold Rombi and all this other stuff. The Moo Off-Roader seems to be the hands down favorite to walk out of that big cart era of.
I'm looking at Moo Off-Roader and Red Vampire Flyer. Honestly, I'm not messing with you with the Red Vampire Flyer, but it seems like it has a really good start too.
It does.
Yeah, Moo Off-Roader, I would say, is one of the safest investments you can make right now, just because it's already pretty good, and they seem to like it. And we're gonna get Moo Farms or Moo Gardens soon.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, so
why do you say that?
When that comes, I think it's been I don't know if it's been data mined or something, but I mean it seems like it's in the planning for Nintendo. I have to go back and look exactly why, but I think it's coming out in one of the later Mario Kart Deluxe, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe waves of DLC. But yeah, I think the card itself also hints at us getting that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Fair enough. We also have the Moo Me, which we somehow did not talk about its buff.
Yes, as well.
Carts with 2 buffs. This blue-green capsule cart is a huge winner here with Peach Gardens and Peach Gardens RT. Crushes it there. Coral Jet Cruiser, the flip side of that, not getting necessarily the greatest buffs with Amsterdam 3 and Amsterdam Drift 3T. Now, of course, if you're using it for ranked, not anything against you. Not a bad one. I will say it had quite a good run here, early fall, early autumn here. But right now, I'm not a big fan of those 2 buffs. I haven't really been talking about things I'm not a big fan of. These mini buses have not really got quite the glory that the gliders did from that ice cream tour. It does have Peach Gardens and Peach Gardens T. So if you do need a track for that, it's an interesting feel to the card itself. I haven't been a big fan. Capsule carts, huge loss there. Mario Circuit RT, not good. Amsterdam Drift, it's fine for ranked, but it's a city track, so you're not excited about that. Flaming Speedster got these 2 Bowser's Castles. Most likely you were probably pretty good, pretty well off for Bowser's Castle R, but Bowser's Castle 3, that might actually help you out, so keep an eye on that. Goo Goo Black, Gold Trickster, and some others. I will say the Camo Tanuki did get the Peach Gardens Tea, so if you have to invest early for whatever reason in that, I know it's kind of low on our list, but it's pretty new. And then just to round out the rest of our Eagle conversation, Blazing Eagle did get Peach Garden, so that is nice. So at least somebody got something somewhere. However, the Bowser's Castle 3T is not bad, especially when we're talking about getting a coin box and driver, etc. There you go. What's your thoughts on the carts? The rest of the carts that got some buffs?
Yeah, so from the two buffs, I would say the blue-green capsule card got the most value added because its two buffs are both Peach Gardens and they're both in ranked. So that's really value-wise doesn't get any better than that. Gilded Prancer is gonna save you with one rank, two new Peach Gardens, Ice Cream Mini Bus, two Peach Gardens, also a rank track. The thing is, these items that get Peach Gardens end, there's a super top shelf on that. So the way the model works, they don't get any kind of paywall bonus from it because there's a super available. So if you have the super, which most people have most supers, and you can throw super tickets on to cover the track, it will save you having to invest in a Gilded Prancer or an Ice Cream Mini Bus, which is kind of obscure niche cards. So the value of that buff is a little bit less. The camo Tanuki card, as you said, the tactic Tanuki, we're calling it. Okay, got one. Got PG, Gardens T, and Royal Racer R. Neither one is in rank. It's a little bit unfortunate. One other one I'd like to mention, I think you didn't mention, is Rose Taxi. Actually, it got an interesting combination of buffs. Epsom Drift 3 and Peach Gardens RT. It's the only other card besides the blue-green capsule card that got two ranked buffs. So even though it didn't get two retros, it is usable in rank twice based on its buffs. So that's, I thought, was quite interesting.
It is interesting. And then there's some carts that got one buff. We talked about the Shielded Speedster here getting a not great buff. That's unfortunate. However, it is in rank, so it is in rank. It's
all it needs to do is maintain its position, is get a buff, and be in ranked every week. 1-1 is good.
Slow and steady wins the race, my friend.
Exactly.
My actual favorite cart, the Tropical Truck, gets a beautiful Peach Gardens R. Unfortunately, not using it for rank, but that's beside the point. 19 assumed tracks, 8 cities there, number 4 on the list. Red Vampire Flyer getting the Bowser's Castle R, not necessarily the greatest buff alongside this Red Off-Roader, but it's a big cart. You're using a coin box driver. You could do worse. Cream Cat Cruiser getting Peach Gardens R. Green Cat Cruiser getting the regular Peach Gardens. 8-Ball Bullet Blaster getting the Bowser's Castle R. Cact B getting Peach Gardens T. It's I'd say this Cact B, the black cactus, unfortunately has not been doing well for me. I took it to 7,595. I regret it. It's not been doing well for me.
It's been a bit unfortunate, yeah.
Piranha Pipes was I think that was one that was on my fringe on my cart list. It was doing really, really well at first, and I think a lot of people really liked investing in it, but really has kind of died off here in the last 2 or 3 tours. To get Amsterdam Drift 3, which is fine, but it's not a course you'll be using quite frequently going forward. And that's about all I want to talk about for the carts with one buff. What's your thoughts?
Tropical Truck, good buff. Just user got a buff, but it's not the one you would expect. We would better get a Bowser Castle 3. The most interesting one, I think, is the Red Standard 8, the super card, which got the week 1 ranked. If you have that, you can avoid investing in the other cards to cover that track. Use your super tickets. So I think that's really nice for that one. Other than that, I think the Pink Capsule cart and the Green Cat Cruiser are both interesting buffs. They both got ranked buffs. Pink Capsule got Peach Gardens RT, and Green Cat Cruiser got Peach Gardens N. Other than that, not too much really that you haven't touched on already.
Okay. All right, let's talk about gliders. There was one glider to rule them all. One glider to get 3 buffs. That is our wonderful wings. The rich get richer here.
Doesn't make any sense usually. The items you see with the huge number of buffs are items that just came out last tour.
Yeah.
This one came out in February, March. I mean, it's doesn't make any sense.
It was 7,595, and it's now 715 for me now. It was too obvious. I had to do it, man, and honestly, it was probably long overdue. I'd say the only one that's hotter than the Wonderful Wings right now is this 8-bit 1-Up Mushroom getting Peach Gardens, and Peach Gardens are 2 phenomenal buffs. Arguably some of the best buffs, as you mentioned, in the game. 6 cities, 24 assumed tracks, number 2 on our list. And honestly, it's still going up. It's still surging. When it's interesting, it has a lot of overlap, though, with the Piranha Plant Balloons, both surging, both
Came out the same tour, yeah.
Same tour, and they're both getting Peach Gardens. However, this one gets Peach Gardens T and not the R that the 1-Up Mushroom gets. Minted Berry Balloons, number 5 on our list now. Peach Gardens R, Peach Gardens RT, 2 phenomenal buffs for this delicious glider here. Sakura Origami Glider, number 11 on our list, 23 assumed tracks, 9 cities. Got Peach Gardens and Peach Gardens R, 2 great sets of buffs. Mario's Hat Balloon, 1 good buff. You got the Peach Gardens R, that's really nice. Luigi's Hat Balloon got the Peach Gardens RT, so that's nice. That's really all I want to talk about for this list. You did mention the Dream Glider did get the Peach Gardens and the Peach Gardens RT, which is a great set of buffs for an older glider. Certainly one to point out there. What's your thoughts on these gliders?
And Dream Glider is a good ACR glider. So if you're just looking for all-around coverage, I mean, it's got 26 tracks. That's really, absolute S-class in terms of raw coverage. It's the only glider to get both Peach Gardens, both the ranked Peach Gardens and above. So value-wise, it's the most value-added of any other glider. Beyond that, the Tulip Corsage, it got 2 city buffs, but they're both in rank. So that's the only other glider to get 2 ranked buffs. It's maybe not an argument to invest in it now, but if you already have it invested, that's really nice. You'll be able to use it week 1 and week 2. It's a heavy city glider. It also had an all city tour start, I think, came out in the Metropolitan Tour. And I think, did you Luigi Parafoil? That got a couple of decent buffs. One of them ranked, 2 Peach Gardens, T and RT, and the Sakura Origami also, Peach Gardens and an R, so 1 ranked as well. But that's it from you.
Very cool, man. And then there are some gliders that got 1 buff. Most notably the Green Cat Parafoil, the Boom Masks, Candlelight Flight. Certainly the all 3. Man, it's hard to criticize these items that are getting buffs, but I think you really like the Green Cat Parafoil, the Candlelight Flight, Secret Skull. These are some phenomenal buffs with Peach Gardens. The Black Star Shoot and Boom Mask, they're kind of like coming up together. They're both in our top 10. They're both overlapping with each other. They have a lot of overlap with one another. So it was one or the other. I think they have something crazy. Yeah, so I'm riding the Black Star Shoots. I know that the Boom Masks are a lot of what other people are riding, but the Bowser's Castle R and T may not be moving the needle for you this tour, but don't let that scare you away. They're still really, really, really good gliders. The Glittering Parasol pairs with a lot of items pretty well. Gets this Peach Gardens. And that's really all I want to talk about. Nothing else. I will say this Sunset Balloon's got this Peach Gardens RT. And when we talk about the top 10 and what pairs really well with items, for whatever reason, and Antelove knows a lot more of this than I do, but the Sunset Balloons paired. It was not pairing. It was not on anyone's pair list. I think it's on now like 6 items pair list. So something to keep in mind if you haven't invested, or maybe if you have invested it like halfway up. Not a bad one to go fully and keep as one of the pillars of your account.
Yeah, so those items like Sunset Balloons, 8-Bit Mushroom, not the 1-Up, but the original 8-Bit Mushroom, Ninja Shy Guy. I mean, these are items that have a ton of coverage, but just haven't been getting out of ranked or buff level lately. So that means they don't overlap with newer meta items, but they really will fill out your inventory well and cover a ton of older tracks. So that's why you're seeing Sunset Balloons. It's always been a very good quality glider, had a lot of tracks, and it just hasn't been getting newer tracks. That's why you don't see much overlap with the newer tracks. Looking into the gliders, I think you more or less touched on all the ones I was interested in talking about. The Solar Candlelight Flight got Bowser's Castle 3N, which is a nice buff for that one. That's one I'm kind of rooting for. I think you talked about Glittering Parasol, Green Cat, Boom Mask, Candlelight Flight. All of these are got decent buffs. The Black Star Shoot, what you said, and finally a shout out to Emilio. The Pink Magnifying Glass got Peach Gardens T. I know you were rooting for that one, and almost into the top 25 at number 27. Other than that, nothing else to talk about.
Did Emilio pay you to say that? Why did you point out the pink magnifying glass?
I like it when people are enthusiastic about specific items for no real reason.
Okay.
So I noted that enthusiasm. And I thought it would be worth giving a shout out.
Well, that's fair enough. I will say I'll go back to this last. No, maybe it's on this slide. I'm looking for the green sprout. There it is. The GSG, the love and enthusiasm for a little sprout. Unfortunately, it looks like that sprout is slowly dying off. It has not been doing so hot. I will say though, there are two other gliders I want to point out and get your opinion on. The Calico Toe Bean Balloons and the Autumn Leaves came out last tour. They only got one buff this tour. Now, of course, you're kind of glad it's not a city buff, but and they're decent buffs. But I'm curious. I was surprised they didn't get more. Why not more action? This is a good tour to maybe get some good action. I don't know.
Because these gliders are both kind of thematic gliders. The Calico Toe Bean Balloons is a kind of like animal. Like you saw how much the cat gliders and cat carts got buffed last tour, the animal tour, and the Autumn Leaves is you're gonna see it get buffed on stuff like Maple Treeway and stuff that's really autumn themed, Halloween themed, and we don't have any of that this tour. So I don't think it's that weird that they only got one buff.
Okay. I do think they were supposed to come out 2 tours ago, so that's probably why it's totally getting one buff. Yeah. But anyway, that's beside the point. Let's get into the top 10. I will say that there are a lot of cat items for whatever reason that are doing really well in the meta. It bothers me because I'm not going to invest in a cat cruiser or a cat.
For sure not. They're tiny.
It's just tough. But let's get into the top 10 just based on time. Whoops, sorry. Let's go to the top 10. We got PD Piranha Gold. He's number 10. Up 5 spots to break our 10 and potentially one day assume that number 1 position. Right now he has 13 assumed tracks, 5 nitro tracks. Now nitro tracks are tracks that are city tracks or tracks that only come out seasonally. So these would be like Merry Mountain, Ninja Hideaway, Sky High Sunday. Tracks that only come out in that specific season that we'll probably only see once a year. And if we're lucky, we'll see that city once a year too. So these are tracks we can't assume they're coming back versus the 13 assumed tracks that we will see reoccurring in the game. Now, the good thing about PD Piranha Gold is you got 150 tracks left to see, which you absolutely love. When it comes to his pairings, he pairs really well with Yoshi Kangaroo, Meowser, and Mario Saddle of You, covering 83 of the 249 tracks. So PD Piranha covers 13 tracks. If you add these 3 drivers to it, you would add an additional 71 tracks to PD Piranha Gold. Just to give you an example, he does have top skill overlap, not 5 items. There's no driver with 4 tracks that he overlaps with. Sorry, there's none that he overlaps with 5 times. But when you're thinking about 13 tracks, I decided to reduce that minimum and include Mario Samurai, who he's the only one who overlaps 4 times. And again, when you're talking about 13 assumed tracks, 5 nitros, that's worth noting. Number 9 on our list, Luigi Knight, up 1 spot from 10 to 9. He has 20 assumed tracks, 7 nitro, still 102 tracks left to see. He pairs really well with Shy Guy Ninja, Kangaroo Yoshi, and Mario Saddle of You, covering 87 of the 249 tracks. The top 2 skill overlaps would be Gold Egg Yoshi, Something Gold, and Mario Samurai, who cover 5 of his 27 tracks. And then White Tanuki Mario unfortunately falls down 2 spots. He's got 20 assumed tracks, 10 nitro. It's a lot of nitro tracks, but still 85 tracks left to see. He has 2 different pairings, one pairing with Nabbit, Kangaroo Yoshi, and Meowser, and the other one with Dry Bones Gold, Kangaroo Yoshi, and Meowser, covering 87 of the 249 tracks. His top skill overlap is with Rosalina Chef, who he overlaps with 5 times. Again, it kind of stinks that you have 2 giant banana drivers covering each other, but when you're talking about 30 total tracks, 5 isn't that big of a deal. Yoshi Kangaroo, he is crushing it this year. Geez, now 18 months after coming out, it seems. He's got 29 assumed tracks, plus 15 nitro, dude. How crazy is that? He's obviously got no tracks left to see, but he keeps getting these buffs and keeps being incorporated and ranked. Pairs really well.
He's in the Spotlight shop right now, so for anyone who's got a newer account, get him because he will just give so much value to your account. Sorry.
I agree, 100%. It's going to be hard to spare those 150 rubies, but if you can, he's going to be he could be really, really good for your account, 100%. PD Piranha PD Piranha regular, Meowser, and Mario Saddle of You cover 92 of the 249 tracks. That adds 64 tracks to the mix. Now he does overlap 5 times with some coin box drivers and boomerang drivers, including Gold Cooper free running, King Bob-omb Gold, Bernie, aka Luigi Vacation, and tie-dye. Talking about Daisy tie dress. However, 5 isn't a lot when you're talking about a total of, oh my goodness, 44 tracks. That's absolutely insane. I'm like, am I doing the math? That 44 is insane, absolutely insane. But you'll notice him. He pairs it really well with a lot of drivers on this list. Now, PD Piranha, he's up 1 spot to number 6. He has 24 assumed tracks, 5 nitro. Still 74 tracks left to see, which is pretty substantial considering it seems like he's been out for 5 months now. It pairs really well with Meowser, Kangaroo Yoshi, and Mario Saddle of You. It does overlap 6 times with PD Piranha Misu, for obvious reasons, and Shy Guy Ninja Pink. Now getting into the top 5, we have Question Mark Block Suit. I know everyone's in pitchforks, raising, saying, where's my question mark? Block is killing it right now from me. I get it. Every time you're using them, you're absolutely loving them. He had some great exclusives, but it's been a while. It's been a while since he's really been a part of Ranked or had some exclusive access there. 20 assumed tracks though, 7 nitro. Still a great driver to invest in, especially if you've gone into the Mii's at all or just won Ranked and have Mii's lying around. Those base points come in good handy. He does have 45 tracks left to see. Pairs really well with some boomerang drivers, including Rosalie and Volendam, Shy Guy Ninja, and Yoshi Kangaroo, covering 87 of the 249 tracks. It does overlap though 5 times with PD Piranha and Mario Saddle of You. Number 4 on the list, Gold Mii Racing Suit, 23 assumed tracks, 13 nitros, still 23 tracks left to see. Pairs really well with Kangaroo Yoshi, Meowser, and Saddle of You, covering 86 of the 249 tracks. It does overlap 6 times with Peach Happy and Yoshi Gold Egg Gold something, and 5 times with Meowser, which is interesting because it pairs really well with Meowser, but then also has 5 overlap. But certainly Gold Mii Suit, who you're going to be using, even if you have him at like a level or 2 below Meowser, just because of his base points, hopefully. Again, everyone's base points are going to be different, but I think he's going to be the one you're going to want to lean on if at all possible. And then Luigi Vacation. Now we're getting to the top 3. Now we're getting to the fun area. Charging Chuck, though, down 2 spots. He was number 1. That's right. He's no longer number 1. He is down 2 spots to number 3. 20 assumed tracks, 6 nitros, still 99 tracks left to see. That is substantial. Pairs really well with Shy Guy Ninja, Kangaroo Yoshi, and Mario Saddle of You, covering 90 of the 249 tracks. He does overlap 5 times with his non-gold brother, I guess you could call it, or version of himself. And then you have Daisy Tie Dress, who has been absolutely killing it lately. 21 assumed tracks, 8 nitro. All the tracks she gets are the most, it seems like the perfect hand-picked tracks for her. She's got 68 tracks still left to see, which is outstanding. Can't believe it. 68 tracks left to see. She came out, in June. She pairs really well with 2 different pairings that included Meowser and Mario Saddle of You. You can either go the Nabbit route or the PD Piranha route. Both of those pairings cover 87 of the 249 tracks. It does overlap, though, 5 times with Yoshi Kangaroo. And now we finally have our number 1 driver in the game, Meowser, back to his number 1 spot. 29 assumed tracks, 4 nitro, 0 tracks left to see, but it doesn't matter. Can you smell what this Meowser is cooking? He's got PD Piranha, Kangaroo Yoshi, and Saddle of You covering 92. You notice that number? That's one of the highest numbers we've talked about. 92 of the 249 tracks. He does overlap 7 times with 2 boomerang drivers, including Shy Guy Ninja and Mario Samurai, and 6 times with Kamek. Let's get into the top 10, Ansel. I want to hear your opinion after I get round up the top 15, because we have Yoshi Gold Egg at 11, Pink Shy Guy Ninja at 12, Mario Samurai at 13, Dr. Peach at 14, and PD Piranha Misu at 15. What's your thoughts on the top 10?
Yeah, Pink Shy Guy made a big jump with his 2 buffs. It's up 10 spots. He was all the way down to number 22 because he was kind of fading away there. And the Pete Ryan Misu, 19 spots up to number 15. It's not displayed there. So those are actually the biggest movers in the top 15. We just don't see it. I want to say, to start with, we made a couple of modifications to the model. We increased slightly the blanket me boost. It was 10%. We raised it to 13%. It's a conservative increase, but we're getting, we're continuing to get me suits. We're continuing to get the base point buff. I think the big decision is going to be made when we see if there's a cap. Data miners have said there's maybe a cap around 2080 quad cap. I think we're now at 1970? No, 1950. So something like 13 more B suits, and we'll see if that's the case. Regular skill, non-plus skill B suits. We did the math. Somewhere around 500 base points difference is where non-plus skill me suits start to outscore coin box me suits.
Or you could also see it the other way around, right?
Non me suits, rather.
Yeah, you could also kind of reverse it. So like the coin box skill has X amount of actions stronger
we
than
assume
a
like 40 actions more for coin box versus a non-plus skill.
And so the base points make up that 40 actions.
Exactly. So when that gets to be the point, if it would continue past that, and so the cap, the data miners have kind of said maybe this is the cap. I think is 470 base points over if you own every Misu, a regular driver, non-me driver. So if that's the case, they'll be kind of like neck and neck. If they can go above that, then all bets are off, and it's basically like just invest in Mies, whatever, because your double coin frenzy is going to beat, like a double coin box frenzy, single coin, whatever, that's going to be crazy. So we increased it a little bit to 13%. And the other thing we did this tour was increase the weight of battle tracks, just because, what we thought initially was they would add a lot of battle tracks, one every tour, and increase the number. But they've really only added 3 retro battle tracks, and then they kind of stopped. And it seems like we're just rotating Cookie Land, GBA Battle Course 1, and Highlight House. So those 3 courses are basically in almost every tour, and they're doubled. So it's like they deserve a lot of credit, because if you do ACR, they're useful almost every tour. Other than that, we didn't make any changes. So Meowser with his new exclusive buff, even though he lost an exclusive, it makes sense that he's back to his spot at number 1. And Tidus Daisy also getting an exclusive. So that's the big reason why she jumped up 4 spots. Petey Bryan also got an exclusive, and Mario King actually just missed the top 15. He's number 16, and he jumped up a lot too due to his one very valuable buff.
Do you think he'll make the top 10 one day?
He could. It depends on how they keep buffing him, but they seem like, I was really down on him in the beginning. Got an all-city star, he's a medium driver, not a me, whatever. But they seem to keep giving him a steady, they seem to like to give him exclusives. So he's up to 6 exclusives, which is not the most, but it's well up there. I think it's solidly in the top, say, 3rd of Coinbox drivers. Daisy, Ty Daisy, by the way, has the most in the game at 8 with her new one. She's got 8 of her 21 tracks. 8 of them are tracks where there's no other Coinbox driver, which is an incredible, and that's why she's as high as she is. She's got incredible value in that sense. And Blockhead has 7, and then Yoshi Goldegg and Meowser both have 6, to give you some kind of context there. Yeah. Other than that, the rest of the rankings, there's not a whole lot going on. Meowser and Ty Daisy, I would say, are very close in raw value. She was almost number 1. If she gets a buff next to her and he doesn't, which is relatively likely because she still has a lot of tracks with me and he doesn't, she will be number 1.
Yeah, so one thing I added this tour, I added to the slides last tour and put them on Reddit so that you can see. You see that white number underneath the arrow, whether the arrow is green or red. That's the raw score. I wanted to include that for you because if you can see here, the top 5 are all within 5 points of each other. So Meowser, Daisy, Tie Dress, you're talking about 100, 99, Charging Chuck's basically 98. Gold Me Suit has a raw score of 96. Question Mark like 95.6. Then a huge drop off. Well, not huge, but a substantial drop off. We're talking about 7-point difference between them and PD Piranha, who's at 6. And then there's an 8-point drop off between him and the rest of the list. So really want to point that out. So if you're wondering, like, hey, not all these spots are equal. Not everyone's like one spot, one raw score point away. It is that you kind of have a cluster. So we wanted to show that to you. Felt like this was the easiest way. But if you would like us to be able to do it a little differently, or if you have suggestions, or maybe you don't like it, or if you do like it, let us know in the comments. Let us know in the live stream. We'd appreciate. Hopefully, you can also leave a like while you're at it too. That always is helpful. Let's get into the carts. We got Green Cat Cruiser at 10. It's up 4 spots, breaking the top 10 here. 21 assumed tracks, 8 nitro tracks, 58 tracks still left to see. Pairs really well with Rombi Rider, Tanuki Kart, and Jukebox Buggy, covering 89 of the 249 tracks. However, it does overlap 6 times with the Strawberry Soft Swerve. We have number 9 on our list, down 5 spots. Huge drop there, unfortunately, for my White Bruiser. Had an awesome summer. 21 assumed tracks, 9 nitro, still 40 tracks left to see. Pairs really well with a pairing you'll see quite often. Armored Rider, Gold Pumpkin Cart, and Yellow Off-Roader, covering 90 of the 249 tracks. And then it does overlap 5 times with the Flowery Bandwagon and the Rombi Rider. Number 8 on our list, up 4 spots, is the Cream Cat Cruiser. 21 assumed tracks, 9 nitro. I honestly thought that a lot of these Cat Cruisers were going to die off after last tour, but still going strong. Got some nice buffs this tour. It has 2 different pairings, completely different from one another. One is the Armored Rider, Gold Pumpkin Cart, Yellow Off-Roader, we just mentioned on the last slide, but it also has a separate pairing. Both these pairings cover 89 of the 249 tracks, and that's Rombi Rider, the Magnum Broom, and the Mark II. It does have some overlap with some of my favorite cards, so I will not be investing in this Cream Cat Cruiser. It does overlap 6 times with the Tanuki Cart and the Tropical Truck. Number 7 on our list, the Blue-Green Capsule Carts. If you like capsule carts, you're in luck, I guess. 13 spots going up here for the Blue-Green Capsule Cart. 21 assumed tracks, 9 nitro, 40 tracks left to see. It does pair a lot with 3 items. It has, I think, 6 different options. So narrowed it down, the Gold Pumpkin Cart and the Yellow Off-Roader cover 69 of the 249 tracks. And then it does have overlap with 5 times with the Coconut One and the Gold Standard. Number 6 on our track. A lot of people are happy about this one. Red Off-Roader up 5 spots to number 6. 17 assumed tracks, 7 nitro. Still 99 tracks left to see. And the girl ain't one. We have the Silver King, the Magnum Broom, and the Yellow Off-Roader. A great pairing with it, surprisingly. You got both off-roaders in that list. Covering 89 of the 249 tracks. Let me just fix that real quick. And then we have, when it comes to overlap, it does overlap. This is important to note. It does overlap 6 times with the Lightning McQueen, the Lightning Streamliner, and this Flaming Speedster. I know a lot of people invested in, kind of think about like the Boom Mask and Black Star Shoot. Red Off-Roader and the Lightning McQueen unfortunately have a lot of overlap. Both loved by similar fans. It's kind of tough. And when you're talking about 17 assumed tracks plus 7 nitro, 23 tracks, and you're sharing 6 of them with another cart like that, it's really tough. Now here's the thing. Lightning Streamliner was a very, very quick top 10 driver, top 10 cart, but has quickly fallen off. So if you have to pick between the 2, I'd go with the Red Off-Roader for sure. Here is your Red Vampire Flyer, Antilev, up 3 spots to number 5, 14 assumed tracks, 3 nitro. Hopefully it lasts on the top 10 just as long as it's original. It pairs really well with the Gold Pumpkin Cart and the Yellow Off-Roader, 64 of the 249 tracks. It does overlap 5 times with this Gold Ball Blaster, which has been kind of a surprise. Nice gold cart for once. We do have the Tropical Truck, my favorite cart in the game, up 2 spots to number 4. 19 assumed tracks, 8 nitros, still 68 tracks left to see. which is still surprising. It's seems like it's been around for a while, but it's kind of similar to tie-dye. Daisy Tie Dress has not seen a lot of tracks since it's been released. It's got two different pairings, both of them with the gold pumpkin cart and the yellow off-roader. One of those with the armored rider, and the other one with the Mark II, covering 89 of the 249 tracks. It does overlap, as we kind of talked about earlier, 6 times with this Cream Cat Cruiser. We got Magna Broom, 25 assumed tracks, 3 nitro, holding steady at 3. It does pair really well with the Rumby Runner, the Mark II, and the yellow off-roader, covering 92 of the 249 tracks. It does overlap 8 times with this green-yellow capsule cart. I always have to remind myself it's green-yellow, even though it looks yellow-green. And then the Vampire Flyer 7 times as well. Again, it's really high on our list. Its coverage on paper looks phenomenal. I'd highly recommend driving it before you invest in it. It's kind of wobbly. It's kind of strange there. Now we get to the final 2, yellow off-roader. Card of the year, guys. This one's been absolutely balling out all year long. 29 assumed tracks, 4 nitro. Has 0 tracks left to see, but it does not matter. It's pairs really well with the Rumby Runner, the gold pumpkin cart, and the armored rider, covering 93 of the 249 tracks. It does overlap 7 times though with your Tanuki cart, as well as also the Choco Macaroon. A couple carts it overlaps 6 times with, including some big hitboxes like the Combo Cruiser and the Braun Off-Roader. But it doesn't matter. Yellow Off-Roader is the king. Can't deny it. The only other cart that I would highly recommend investing in outside of the yellow off-roader is the Shielded Speedster. 18 assumed tracks, 5 nitro, still over 100 tracks left to see. It's a phenomenal cart that exploded into our algorithm very quickly and has basically done. It's been basically doing as little as it needs to in order to stay on this top, because its initial tracks and its very exclusive coverage has basically catapulted to the top. And right now it is King of the Mountain. It has 2 different pairings that are very completely different. The Armored Rider, Gold Pumpkin Cart, and Yellow Off-Roader, or the Rumby Rider, the Jukebox Buggy, and the Tanuki Cart. Both of those cover 85 of the 249 tracks. It does overlap 5 times with the Piranha Pipes. So as we round out the top 15, we have the green-yellow capsule cart at 11. We have the Warrior Wagon at 12, Lightning Streamliner at 13, Strawberry Soft Swerve at 14. Those last 4 I mentioned were in our top 10 last tour. So a lot of new slides for me today. That's one of the reasons why I was running a little late. And then the Gold Bullet Blaster at 15. Antelope, what are your thoughts on our top 10 carts?
Yeah, so the Shield Speedster Yellow Off-Roader, obviously 2 very different carts. One of them is older and has a ton of coverage and it's just been around forever. As you said, the cart of the year. The other one's much newer, doesn't have as many tracks, but it's very high quality tracks. But they're basically 1A and 1B in terms of the rankings. There's you see the numbers between them. Shielded Speedster went up, because they got that 1 buff, and it's in ranked. Yellow Off-Roader didn't get any buff, so it relatively went down a little bit. And then there's a big gap going to number 3, and you mentioned the numbers there. If you look at carts 4, 5, and 6, they're within a couple hundredths of a point from one another. So is the Tropical Chuck really better than the Red Off-Roader? I mean, technically it is, but for me, it's take your pick. Those 3 in the middle, the 4, 5, and 6, they're all basically have the same score. So that's where the ranking of this can be a little bit misleading. Blue Green Capsule Cart, the big jump because it's got those 2 Peach Gardens that are both in rank. It's a huge amount of value added for that one. Other than that, no, not really. Nothing to say. The 11 to 15 carts, all, like you said, former top 10s, except for the Gold Bullet Blaster. So not a whole lot to mention here, really.
Yeah, I mean, certainly there's a big tier drop between these top 2 and everybody else. I mean, if you think about the difference between Magna Broom and the Green Cat Cruiser, is a difference of basically 2 points. So it's really, really, really tough to nitpick those, but yeah, you have these 2 really strong carts hold down the fort. Then you have the gliders. Let's get into the Secret Scroll, brand new to our top 10, up 8 spots, 19 assumed tracks, 5 nitro tracks, still 74 tracks left to see. Pairs really well with the Dragon Wings, the 8-bit Super Mushroom, and the 8-bit Fire Flower, covering 93 of the 249 tracks. It does overlap 7 times though with the Fire Manta, so if you went heavy into that Fire Manta pipe, Again, came out in that late spring time period around the same time. 7 is a lot for when you're talking about 24 total tracks. So just want to point that out. Number 9 on our list, we have the Black Star Shoot up 2 spots back into our top 10. 20 assumed tracks, 5 nitros, still 99 tracks left to see. Pairs really well with the 8-bit Fire Flower, Glittering Parasol, and Glinting Glider. Covering 93 of the 249 tracks. It does, as we talked about, overlap 8 times with the boom masks. That is substantial. We're talking about 25 tracks. We do have the Candlelight Flight. Seems like it's probably going to be at the number 8 spot for like ever. It just seems to be holding. I think it's like our 3rd tour in a row. It's stayed at 8. 28 assumed tracks, 11 nitro. It used to be our number 1 glider this summer. Still really, really strong. Has 8 tracks left to see, but it had a really good year, that's for sure. Has 2 different pairings, and this is where I was talking about the Sunset Balloons. You have the 8-bit Fire Flower, Bright Balloons, and Wonderful Wings as one pairing, or the 8-bit Fire Flower, Sunset Balloons, and Wonderful Wings as a second. Both of those pairings covering 98 of the 249 tracks. That's phenomenal. It does overlap 8 times with the Flyberry book. We got the 8-bit Fire Flower at 7, unfortunately falling down 2 spots, but that's okay. It's been around for literally 18 months and has been absolutely crushing it. 31 tracks plus 11 nitro. You heard it right, 42 total tracks. It got 2 different pairings, one with the Candlelight Flight, Bright Balloons, and Wonderful Wings, and then the other one with the Candlelight Flight, Sunset Balloons, and Wonderful Wings, covering 98 of the 249 tracks. It does have, I think, 5 gliders that overlaps 6 times with. But we're talking about 42 tracks. 6 is not a lot. But I will point out there, it does overlap with the 8-bit Bullet Bill and the Golden Wings and the Black Star Shoot. 3 gliders that a lot of people invested into. We have the Boom Masks at 6. 19 assumed tracks, 6 nitro, 102 tracks left to see. 2 different pairings there that include the Fire Flower and the Glittering Parasol. But you could go Glinting Glider or Black Great Sail to cover 92 of the 249 tracks. Like we talked about, 8 overlaps with that Black Star Shoot. Then we have this Mint and Berry Balloons, 20 assumed tracks, 9 nitro to make it jump into our top 10. Not just graze the top 10, but all the way to number 5, up 9 spots. It's got a pairing with the Candlelight Flight, 8-bit Super Mushroom, and Dragon Wings up to 91 of the 249 tracks. It does overlap those 6 times with the Mario Hat Balloons, I think that's what it's called, and then the Flying Flappers. Now we get to the good stuff. We got Green Cat Parafoil, 23 assumed tracks, 8 nitro. Unfortunately fell down 2 spots, but it's still doing pretty well. 58 tracks still left to see. It's got 2 pairings, one with the 8-bit Bullet Bill, 8-bit Super Mushroom, and Dry Bowser Umbrella, or Dragon Wings, 8-bit Super Mushroom, and Starry Great Sail, covering 93 of the 249 tracks. Let me just change that real quick. And then it does overlap 6 times with the what is this one? This is the banana. Is it banana chocolate balloons?
Vanilla chocolate balloons.
Vanilla chocolate. Of course, it's the easiest pairing of all snow or of all ice cream. Now we get the Piranha Plant Balloons. 23 assumed tracks, 5 nitro to kick it up 1 spot to number 3. 74 tracks still left to see. Pairs really well with 2 options. Both of those include the 8-bit Super Mushroom, but you could go Golden Wings and 8-bit Bullet Bill, or Dry Bowser Umbrella and Wonderful Wings, covering 94 of the 249 tracks. However, covers 7 times, overlaps 7 times with this 8-bit 1-Up Mushroom. It makes it really tough. I mean, the number 2 and the number 3 glider covering 7 of the same tracks. That's really, really tough. So let's get into the other one. The 8-bit 1-Up Mushroom, probably the hottest glider in the game right now. 24 assumed tracks, 6 nitro, 74 tracks still up to see. That's a lot of tracks still up to see for the number 2 glider in the game. You have the 8-bit Fire Flower, Dry Bowser Umbrella, and Wonderful Wings, or 8-bit Fire Flower, Sunset Balloons, and Wonderful Wings to cover 95 of the 249 tracks. It does overlap not just with the Piranha Plant Balloons 7 times, but also the Mario Hat Balloons. Something to take note of. And then here we go. Man, this has got to be the glider of the year. Wonderful Wings, 29 assumed tracks, 11 nitro. That's 40 tracks with still 17 tracks left to see. It has had an absolutely baller year. Pairs really well with the 8-bit Fire Flower and the Candlelight Flight. both of those options could go either one of two directions, get the stunt balloons or the bright balloons. Both of those will cover 98 of the 249 tracks. I have a feeling we're going to break 100 here next tour. It seems to be doing so well. It does overlap, though, 8 times with the Aurora balloons and the record setter. So to round up the top 15, we do have the Secure Origami Glider at 11, Wicked Topaz at 12, Golden Wings at 13. Man, the Golden Wings have fallen. Mario's Hat Balloon on the rise, though, at 14, and the Black Cat portfolio, which was at 10 and exploded into our top 10 last tour, has fallen already, and I don't know if it'll even sustain to the top 15 next tour. We'll have to see. But what are your thoughts on the top 10 gliders?
It's funny because, like, for a while we were tracking all of the Sky Tour gliders as 3 of them, the record setter, the Sky Flyer, and the Wonderful Wings, and it was kind of like, hey, which one of these is gonna, be the best? And for a long time they were kind of all neck and neck, and then all of a sudden in the last couple of months, like, record setter is down at 24, and Sky Flyer is all the way down at 50. Wonderful Wings is still number 1. It's crazy. It's I don't know what to say. The items speak for themselves. The ones that went up, you can see they all got like really good buffs this tour. Secret Skull got a decent buff. Mittenberry balloons, Piranha Plant balloons, Ape at Wonder Mushroom all got 2 good buffs. Same with Secure Origami Glider. It makes sense. And the Golden Wings dropped 6 spots, but again, look at the raw values. It's not that much in terms of you don't see the values for 11 to 15, but 11, 12, and 13 are all like within 1.5 points of one another. Other than that, not a whole lot to mention. It's a nice mix of like newer and older gliders, I think, in the top 10.
No, I appreciate that. Let me I do want to fix this. This is 8801 on my my deluxe
8801, yeah.
8801. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Yeah, here we go into the top movers and shakers, though. You made some good points here. I would say, out of all these, kind of just based on time, we're going to skim through them. We'll say this PD Piranha Me Racing Suit, biggest jump there of 19 up into our top 15. We already kind of talked about. Everything else is, I don't know, kind of a lot of me's. As for the Karts, the Streetle, we talked about this a little bit. 13 spots to 19. That's crazy there. Goo Pink went up 30 spots to cut its lead in half to number 32. Moo Off-Roader up to 17. That's, again, early 17 there for an item that just came out. Absolutely love that. And then the Ice Cream Mini Bus went up 17 spots to 16. For the gliders, Dream Glider, you talked about that a little bit. Cut its lead in half. It's number 32. I mean, it'd be tough, though, for it to get to the top 10 at this point, but it's certainly, for All Cup ranking, a solid one to invest in. Secure Origami Glider went up 17 spots to 11. Candlelight Flight Cake went up 13 spots to 35. And the Mario's Hat Balloon, to get to that 14, it had jumped up 10 spots. Any thoughts on the top movers or shakers?
No, not really. There's a couple of carts which fell. Flower Cart fell from 22nd to 33rd, down 11 spots, and Gray Cat Cruiser fell from 25th to 36th, also down 11 spots. Those are former, top 10 carts that are losing some luster.
Substantial drop there. We got the ranked items. Most of the ranked possibilities you have are going to be on Bowser's Castle R. There's so many options there. Of course, we got the PD Piranha Me Racing Suit. We talked about level 3. Mario Samurai at looks like level 6. PD Piranha at level 6. Bronze Me Racing Suit at level 8. King Bob-omb Gold at level 8. You're not short of having drivers on this course. You probably are going to be using a Coinbox driver. Then for carts, you got the Warrior Wagon at level 3, Lightning Streamliner at level 6, Piranha Pipes at level 6, Sports Coupe at level 6, Tiger Bruiser at level 6, Cact R at looks like level 8, and Tanuki Kart at level 8. So some options there for you. And again, some of those are meta level carts. Then for gliders, you got the Cat Parafoil at level 3, Fireman's level 3, Wario's Mustache at level 3, Black Cat Parafoil at level 6. My eyes are literally falling out of my head. Bowser's Kit now for next week. We got Bowser's Castle 3R. Now you got Charging Chuck Gold. This, I believe, is level. Please help me with that. I can't see what level it is. Get that and the red.
Level 6. Looks like level 6.
Level 6. So, Charging Chuck Gold, Red Off-Roader, Boom Masks, Lava Rocks. All 4 of these are possibles that you might be close or want to invest in. Please look at those. This is a newer track where your coverage, you might actually think about investing in these. These are some meta level items. And then Peach Garden,
gold charging Chuck. If you were thinking about investing in him, this is a good week for it because he's hot and yeah. And
if he's a level 4 or 3 or whatever, you're not going to know. So just be aware. Just keep this in the back of your mind as you're looking at your options. Then you got Peach Gardens RT. Just got the Gold Bruiser and the Pink Speedster as really high locks. You're probably not going to want. You're probably not necessarily going to want to take it up that high. Neither necessarily are breaking any type of meta. And then for multiple use ranked, we got the PD Piranha used 3 times thanks to that level 6 unlock. I got some Cheat Sheet Mask, got some Dr. Bowser, Dry Bowser Mii Racing Suit, some other Mii Racing Suits. P Piranha Mii Racing Suit, though, you can use 2 times thanks to that level 3 unlock. Bronze, thanks to that level 8 unlock. That's that's an option as well. And then for carts, you got the blue-green capsule cart, pink sneaker, red crawly cart, rose taxi, gold bruiser, pink speeder, piranha pipes, red off-roader, and tiger bruiser, all used 2 times with a couple of these unlocks that you can see here. And then the hottest glider in the game, this 8-bit 1-up mushroom. If you need to invest in it, which we highly recommend doing, and you have any tickets laying around and you want to win ranked, or you just want to invest in something that's going to help your account long term, highly recommend. I cannot highly recommend it enough. This 8-bit 1-up mushroom. It's one of the most safest investments right now. I truly believe that it's going to continue.
We all know how much Nintendo loves the 8-bit items.
Either they love it or you love it. Or I think it's really safe to say that it is a really good investment for most accounts. The Gym Glider is used twice. The Piranha Plant Balloons twice. You mentioned this. The Tulip Corsage has those 2 Amsterdam Drifts twice. And then the brand new wonderful Garnet used twice as well. Secret Skull twice, thanks to that level 6 unlock. Good. And then for All Cup ranking, it's going to be a unique tour, thanks to that little glitch. But you do have Meowser used 11 times. Oh my goodness. That is absolutely ridiculous. Then this Rocky Wrench 10 times if you need to. Bowser Mii Racing Suit 9. Fire Rosalina 8. Gold Mii Racing Suit 8 times. That's pretty substantial. So now, of course, some of those overlaps are with Meowser, but if you're using Gold Mii Suit 8 times, that is phenomenal. Some of the cards you could be using: Pink Speeder 12 times, Pink Sneaker 11, Gold Bruiser 10, Magnum Broom 9, Black Sneaker 9, and Silver Bullet Blaster 8. Then for gliders, wonderful Garnet 11 times. That's beautiful. Surprising, this Cat Powerful 10 times, Sunset Balloon 10 times. And I keep seeing the Sunset Balloons, man. If you need to invest in it, not a bad one. Spider Glider, Black Cat Foil, Vampire Wings, and Candlelight Flights. So there you go. Anything you want to add about All Cup ranking or ranked, or what you're using the most into left?
I don't know. I mean, like I said, I'm taking it easy this tour, so I'm not.
You earned it.
But I have to tell you, like, it's really, and I wanted to mention this earlier, but I'm really appreciative of the fact that the Amsterdam Drift 3 actually seems like a great track to race. It's what I would have wished the first track would have been introduced as the first track in the series, because people were kind of sleeping in the first 2. So I'm happy to see that the third one is actually a really good track.
No, that's actually a really good point. It looks beautiful. I'm glad I'm so glad I don't have to go underwater.
Yes, exactly.
And you have a soccer game to watch tomorrow.
We do.
Who you play?
I don't know. Some guys who don't know how to play football. So it's no, actually, I watched the USA game.
That's what it's called, soccer.
I watched the USA game against England, and they looked better than England. So. It will be a difficult match, and I wouldn't be surprised if we lost.
Yeah, that's right. That's Netherlands versus United States. Probably the same day that you're watching this rundown, but it's actually probably live right now. So the goal is to premiere this at 10 a.m. Eastern. That's literally when the game is kicking off.
That's literally when the game starts. Yeah.
It's all right. It's still 0-0. Don't worry. But thank you guys very much for enjoying another episode of the Rundown. It's always a pleasure. It's always an honor doing this. Even if we have some work going on in the background, it's an absolute honor to do so. If you have not liked, if you're not subscribed, please do so. Plus, we also have different unique stuff coming out. I have a little bit of time later in the month to do some unique videos, so I'm excited to do so. Ring that little bell so you have the notifications so that when we have stuff come out, such as the Spotlight Shop or unique stuff, or if we have the poll coming out for our award ceremony at the towards New Year's, that notification will help you out. So thank you guys very much. Thank you, Anteleb. I appreciate it. And may the best soccer team, football team win tomorrow, today.
Definitely.
See you guys.
Definitely. All right, see you.